Let's make a banoffee pie right in time for Thanksgiving. Welcome back to the Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show, where we make plant-based cooking easy. I'm Jill, and today we're gonna make a banoffee pie. And if you haven't heard of that, boy, you are in for a treat. And this would be perfect to take for your Thanksgiving meal or holiday meal. It is so delicious. But before we jump in, please give this show a like, or if you've been watching the show for a while, those likes really help our show to keep it going and to get it out there to more people. So just give it a like. All right, we're gonna jump in. We're gonna start with the crust first. So I've got 3/4 of a cup of rolled oats, and we're just gonna blitz those really quick. You're gonna need to do this in your food processor. It really doesn't work in the blender very well. But we're gonna blitz these first and then add our other ingredients. Really, it just takes, a few seconds. We're trying to chop them up just a little bit smaller before our other ingredients go in so that you don't have any big chunks of oats in there. Then we've got 3/4 of a cup of almond meal, 1/4 of a cup of pitted dates, 2 tablespoons of tahini. That's going to give it a really nice, rich flavor. It's kind of in place of, what you would use typically in a pie crust would be butter. And then we've got some water here, but I'm going to add that as we go just to get it stuck together. We want to get this blended up first before we start adding any water. Okay, now that it's all uniform size of crumble, now we can start adding our water in. And you just want to add a little bit at a time. This is about 2 tablespoons, but you may only have to use 1. It just kind of depends on how juicy your dates are. All right, now you can tell you're done when you pick it up a little bit and you squish it together and it stays together. So that's what we're looking for. All right, now you're going to need a pie plate or a tart plate. I'm going to use a tart plate just because I think it's so much nicer when you pop it out of there. The tart plate, it's the same as a pie plate, but the bottom comes out. And then it has this really nice little edge on it. So that when you pop that pie out, it has that really nice edge on it. So now you're just going to press this down in there. And you're going to come up on the sides pretty much all the way to the top, or close to the top. So it's about 1 inch. So this is something, it just takes a little bit of patience. You're just going to have to take your time and press it into the pan so it's really nice and even. Okay, now we are done, and my oven is already preheated to 350 degrees. And I've got some unsweetened chocolate chips here. You can use sweetened ones if you like. If you're trying to find ones that have a better sugar, you'll probably have to go to Whole Foods or like a health food store to find some healthier versions of chocolate chips. But these are actually just raw cacao. And this is a 1/2 cup. And this is optional also. You don't have to do this step, but I think it really elevates the pie to another level. Just having that little bit of chocolate in there. All right, so now we're going to stick it into the oven for 10 minutes, and essentially we're just trying to kind of seal that crust off a little bit, bake it, bring out some of those really delicious nutty flavors from the nuts, and then melt that chocolate. So 10 minutes in the oven. While we're waiting for that, I'd like to share some background on our show. The Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show is crowd-funded, which means these free weekly recipe videos, along with our entire catalog of free printable recipes on our website, plantbasedcookingshow.com, and our Plant-Based Cooking Made Easy cookbook series, are all made possible in part by the generous patronage of our supporting membership community. So if you love our recipes, I invite you to join us on our mission to make plant-based cooking easy, and follow the link in the description to become a supporting member today. There's no denying the plant-based diet is a nutrient powerhouse, but did you know there are a handful of hard-to-get nutrients even well-crafted diets are often lacking?
The latest research suggests that complementing your diet with a few specific vitamins, minerals, and omega-3s will help boost your energy and keep you thriving for the long term. That's why my daily health routine includes Complement Essential. Complement Essential contains the 8 critical nutrients lacking from most plant-based diets in dosages optimized specifically for us. As a special discount for our viewers, just use code PLANTBASEDEASY at checkout to save 15% off of your order.
Okay, so the second layer is caramel. So we're gonna make a delicious caramel out of dates. So this is 2 cups of pitted dates. And these are medjool dates, but you can use deglette dates too. Same measurement. A half a cup of unsweetened soy milk. But like I always say, you can use whatever plant milk you like. We have a teaspoon of vanilla. And a teaspoon of low sodium tamari. Yes, low sodium tamari. These ingredients may sound strange, but it works. And 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. That's gonna give it that buttery flavor that you really love in caramel. Okay, so we're just gonna blend this together until it's really smooth and, you know, like caramel, really smooth and creamy, which might take a little bit of work in here. We'll have to scrape it down a couple times, but stick with it, it's worth it. All right, there we go. Look at that. Yummy. All right, so we're still waiting for our pie crust to get done, and then I'll show you what we're gonna do with this. All right, now that the chocolate is melted, you're just gonna take a spoon and kind of smooth it around the bottom, just to give it a little bit more even coating. And along with this pie, if you're looking for pies for Thanksgiving, boy, we've got you covered. I've got so many pies. I've got just your standard pumpkin and apple, but I also have sweet potato, pecan, blueberry, cherry, and chocolate pudding pie. So you're not going to be lacking in pies for your Thanksgiving meal. All gluten-free and refined sugar-free. Super healthy for you. All right, now that you got that, you're gonna stick this in the refrigerator for probably about 5 minutes or so, just to kind of get that surface to seal, because we want to put our caramel layer on top of that and we don't want it to mix together. So into the fridge for about 5 minutes or so. Okay, so while our chocolate is cooling in the fridge, we're gonna make our cream topping. So this is 1 1/4 cups of cashews. I've got 3 deglette dates. If you're using medjools, I would use maybe 1 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And we're gonna start with a 1/2 cup of water. And we may need a little bit more as we go, just to keep it mixed and moving, but you don't wanna use too much water because you don't want it to be runny. So just start with a 1/2 cup and add like a tablespoon at a time more water if you need to. Okay, there we go. Our cream topping is done. So now we're gonna go on, we're gonna finish this. This is already sealed from being in the refrigerator. Now we're gonna spread on our caramel layer. Yum. And then you're gonna need 2 bananas, because the bananas are gonna get sliced and there's gonna be a layer of bananas on top of this caramel. So that's, you know, kind of the name banoffee. So it's banana and essentially toffee. So banoffee. And it really does. It's very rich, very sweet. But once you have it, oh my gosh, you're just gonna fall in love. I totally fell in love with this. You can just spread that really evenly over that chocolate. There we go. And you don't have to make the top look nice because it's getting covered with 2 more layers, so you're not going to see that at all. All right, so now you got your bananas. And what I like to do, I like to just peel one side off like this, and then I kind of peel back the 2 sides of the peel, and then I just cut it inside the peel like that, so I can get kind of even, more even sized slices. And then I don't have to have a cutting board or anything like that. All right, and then you're just gonna completely cover the caramel with your banana slices. And it might take, you know, 2 bananas, it might take a 3rd banana, just depending on how big your bananas are. Okay, so now we put on our cream layer on top of this. And I'm just gonna spread it on. You could pipe it on if you wanted to, but we're gonna dust the top with a little bit of cocoa powder, just to kind of make it a little bit prettier. All right, now I'm gonna grab some cocoa powder and a little sifter, and I'll show you how to decorate the top. Okay, so I have about a tablespoon of a really nice dark chocolate cocoa powder, and you're just gonna lightly dust it. Or if you wanted to get really fancy, you could do like those little chocolate scraped curls. That's completely up to you. But this just adds a little bit of chocolate flavor to the top too. All right, there we go. And that's our pie. You can put this in the fridge and let it set up for at least a couple hours. Overnight would be best before you serve it and before you pop it out of this tin. But I'm gonna do that and then I'll meet you at the table for a taste. Okay, now on to my favorite part. Let's cut some of this. Oh my. Oh my, I love pie. Yum. I think that's my favorite part of Thanksgiving is the pie. I could do without the mains and everything. Maybe some green bean casserole, but it's all about the desserts for me. All right, let's see. Come on out. Hopefully I don't break it. Oh, look at that. Ooh, and you can see that little layer of chocolate in there. Yum. That is so rich and creamy and delicious. You're gonna love it. Be sure to come back next week for another great recipe, and happy holidays.